with you. And remember that in physics, that observer effect, just by observing you change something is what the physicists say, and which is of course true. We are all creating each other. I'm a character that you're creating in your story, literally. Now I exist and I have my own consciousness, and you all are characters that I'm creating in my story, and our stories mesh in many, many ways. But each of you is looking at me and not only creating your, very honestly, your own physical version of me, because there is not a physical thing. It's energetic information that each of us picks up with sensors that we have, and we form it into what appears to us to be solid and physical. So not only are there four physical me's, mine and then yours, five, I guess, four. But the role, but my but me, but the character, the role I'm playing in your version of your story and your role is different. Mary's is going to be a little different than Steph's. Might be real similar, but there's going to be differences because you guys aren't coming from the same exact perspective, any of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
When we observe someone to be something, we're observing them to play our story, play the character we need them to play in our story. And of course they have in their own minds their character they're playing in their own story too. Like as I'm playing a role in your stories, but of course I'm playing a role in my story. So there's again four versions of my character in a story, so to speak. But when we look at someone and observe them in a way that we hold them to be, what we're doing is creating a resonance that will get the part of them that matches that. If that part exists, we will get it. So that's why those things where I've told you about this before, where that Carla Hannaford did this experiment where she brought in a bunch of kids that were actually behaviorally challenged kids that did not do well on tests, brought them in to be observed taking a test by people who had been told, by educators who had been told this was a gifted class. And the kids came in, took the test, and did way better than they ever would have done. And they weren't, coached or cute. It was just the expectation, the energetic expectation was different. So they literally observed a higher level of those kids than someone else would have observed. That's probably why someone like my husband could walk up to a behaviorally challenged horse that everybody else is having a big fat fight with, and it's just doing what he wants, and it's a telepathy and blah blah blah, and it is, but it's an expectation of how it's going to go, what it's going to be like, and what's expected, and it's not spoken. It's telepathic. It's energetic. So when we observe someone a certain way, that's why I tell people, stop looking at, parents who go, oh, my poor daughter, she has such a bad time of it. She's had such heavy losses and I got to teach her to prevail. And it's like, you are putting on this kid that she's got it so hard. Not just what you're saying to her, which you are, but beyond that, you're putting energetically on the kid that they've got it so hard and they have to struggle because life has been against them, right?
Yeah.
It's putting that energy, energetic expectation template there for the kid. If there's a part of the kid that wants to fight and have a struggle, some hard time in life, that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, that's so true.
I have so many examples of that from my own, from my own clients, and being aware of that.